This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, December 27th, 2006, and it's episode 197 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of MGMstudios.org, and my birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Matt can rent a car. Matt can rent a car.
On the show today is Mr. Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. What's new in the world of Mouse World Radio, Mike?
Well, we're having our eggnog drinking challenge tomorrow, and
and the Chubby Bunny contest to follow that.
Bunny contest.
He's always good for a yoke.
Unfortunately, on the show today is Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com. Welcome, Mike.
If I hear one more word about those ticky-tacky, Polynesian, pineapple-picking, wood-for-brains, moron tiki gods...
Iago from the Tiki Bird Show. Or from... It could be also Steve Seifert's arch nemesis.
Ooh.
This doesn't like the Tiki.
Yeah.
Get it? Get it?
Okay,
Anyone?
I get it. Yeah,
Nothing?
I get it.
We're doing, for the rest of the month of December, we're doing listener email shows because we love listener emails. So, we're going to start out with a good one from Ed Mazzilli of King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. He writes, first, great job on the podcast. I'm still catching up now that I have found them, going to Walt Disney World soon, and staying at the Polynesian. Just wondering if it's worth the extra cash for some of the websites that advertise touring plan help. Tour Guide Mike is $21.95 minus the $3 for being a Disney World member. TouringPlans.com is about $7. I've seen a lot of great sites like All Ears Net, Intercot, the Diz site, and Walt Disney World Today, of course, with good information. What extra am I getting by throwing a couple bucks at these pay sites? Well, I think there's a misconception here first, Ed, is that, I mean, a lot of the content, I mean, you know, information about, you know, what Splash Mountain is, you're absolutely right. There's no reason to. But you do get something that you don't get from these other sites. Mike Scopa, why don't you explain?
I think what you get is you get a customized plan that will work towards what your needs are, what your objectives are when you go on your trip. There are people who prefer certain parks over others, doing certain things over others, and what these touring plans can give you is a customized trip itinerary that will make the most out of your time. I know that in Len's case, he has a lot of scientific data that will usually give you an accurate indication of what you can expect for waiting times in the parks. I know that there have been times when I've been down there and I've called Len to give him a reading on what the queue line would be for, let's say, Space Mountain or whatever, and what he has many times said to me is that this is exactly what we had predicted. So there's a lot of data that goes into these touring plans, and it turns out that when you do go to any of these places, they're going to give you customized plans that will cater to your needs. That's basically it.
And in addition, for touringplans.com, they have the crowd calendar, which I believe is free, but I think is going to be, I don't know what Len's plans are for that. But, I mean, they tell you what parks, both sites give you advice on what parks are the best to go to on a particular day, what parks to avoid, things of that nature. So you're getting information like that. We won't comment. I think we're a little biased in this case about which sites we prefer or not, so we'll just leave it at that. I think that's a fair way of describing what the services are. But certainly, it's good for, I think, newbies and veterans alike, because it just gives you really great information.
Just to throw off, just to make sure that we're not biased, I don't use any of them.
Elliot from Sacramento, California writes, hello all. With all the time you've collectively spent at Walt Disney World, have any of you ventured into the nearby community of Celebration? I know it's not an official part of Walt Disney World, but since it was founded by the Disney Company and is just outside the main Walt Disney World property, I wondered if any of you have visited and what you thought of the community. I love it over there. There's a restaurant. I go there for breakfast fairly often, probably about once or twice a year. It's great. I love it. It's great to drive through. They have farmers markets on Sundays. I'm not sure what day of the week they do them, but I know they do have them. Have you guys ventured out over there?
Yeah, I've been there a few times. Been to the Celebration Hotel for a get-together back in MouseFest 2003. Drove around there, looked at houses, potentially maybe one or two that I might consider buying. Lots of interesting spots down there. I don't go as often as I should, and I think that it's a good alternative, visit from the parks. It's good to take a day off and from the parks and do things like go visit Celebration.
Newell, have you been there?
They have a very nice emergency room.
Oh. Well, it sounds like you have been there.
I've been there.
The Celebration hotel, I've seen it on Mouse Savers, and sometimes they have really good deals on. Mary has some good deals on that hotel. It looks really nice. It's very intimate kind of hotel, a bed and breakfast kind of thing. But I would highly recommend it. It looks really nice.
Have you seen the rooms, Matt, at all?
I haven't been in there personally. I've seen photos of him. Mary has a lot of information on her site about it. Have you been in there?
We took a tour it was 2003. We took a tour. I know Jennifer Marks and I were among the people taking a tour. I thought the rooms were somewhat small. They were. It did give me a feeling that it would be like a bed and breakfast. I just very, very elegant furniture and stuff. Kind of small. I don't know what the prices are though. I don't recall.
Disney doesn't own that area anymore, right?
No, they sold Celebration.
Right, okay.
They founded it, but I think they still. I mean, they're still like it's kind of like that Pleasantville kind of community where they have a lot of rules about what you can and can't do, and
right.
They try to maintain a certain quality level over there. Next email is from Vicky from Australia, who writes, "My question is, my family and I have gone to Walt Disney World twice. This is a big trip for us. We would like to go back in 2007, December specifically. Last time we booked directly with Disney. Is this our best option, or do you recommend something else?" I think we would all agree that a better option than booking through Disney is through a travel agent.
Mm-hmm. Especially coming from overseas.
Yeah, I would definitely. I mean, there's a number of them. You want one that specializes in Walt Disney World. That we use. I know I've used a couple in the past. Ones I particularly like are MEI Mouse Fan Travel. I know, Scopy, you use Stu Pizzatora from Small World Vacations, right?
Yep. Yes,
We'll
sir.
put links in the show notes over there. I've used Our Laughing Place Travel. Most of them are pretty good, but those are the ones that we've used, so we can at least vouch for them. It's just our own personal use. But I would definitely go over Disney's. They'll give you advice. They'll really help you a lot over there. Next email is from Kimmy Dembrowski of Huntsville, Alabama, who writes, "Hey guys, I thought you did a great job of covering the basic etiquette in the parks. Most people are extremely well behaved and considerate at Disney World, more so than the real world at times. But sometimes, well, we can be a little bit oblivious. It's always nice to have a reminder that you're not the only one on vacation there. That being said, the only thing I really hate in the parks is when someone is in extremely traffic stops suddenly right in front of you to turn around and completely or bend down to get something out of their stroller or give something to their kid. I wish everyone would think to move over to the side of the sidewalk before doing this. We were on Disney Cruise with a couple who named the move a Crazy Ivan after the submarine move Sean Connery's character performed in The Hunt for Red October. Clever. Now, I like that, Kim. Anyway, thanks for the podcast. You have excellent and entertaining work. I would love for someone to... Next time someone does this, please just yell out "Crazy Ivan" like they do in the movie. And it's probably not that funny, but I find it very funny. Very good, Kimmy. Next email is from Ryan from Illinois, who writes, "Hi, Matt, Len, Mike N, and Mike S. I just wanted to thank you again so much for taking my call on live show number 5. I wanted to let you know that this podcast helped me get through my second semester of college in my freshman year. When my workload was overwhelming, I could just turn on old episodes of Walt Disney World Today, and I was instantly transported out of my dorm room and into the parks themselves. I forgot to mention it because I was so excited to talk to you guys. Thanks so much for all your hard work. I really appreciate everything you do. P.S. Len, the Steelers are going to be crushed by Chicago this year. Go Bears."
He's right about that.
And he was right about that. Considering how old this email is, probably. Speaking of old emails, Elastigirl writes to us, "We'll be at Disney World during October. I know that the usual Wishes fireworks are not scheduled on evening." All right. This might help someone next year. I know that the usual Wishes fireworks are not scheduled on evenings when Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is taking place. Question: are there other fireworks? Can they be seen from the beach at the Polynesian? I know the view isn't ideal outside the Magic Kingdom. Just wondering if we'll be able to see them at all. Scopa, that's your favorite thing.
Sure. You can see them from the Polynesian. What you need to do is you need to go up to well, actually, there's any spot along the beach is fine. I would go to the shore right behind the volcano pool, and you'll be able to see the fireworks that come over the castle, and you'd be surprised as to how high the fireworks are. People don't realize that fireworks can actually fill up the whole sky, and when you're close to the fireworks in the park, you can't appreciate how high up that the fireworks really go. So yeah, you can.
And of course, Elastigirl, I know you meant Wishes is not shown, but they do have a holiday or Halloween version of Wishes, which is okay. It's good. It's probably better than Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party fireworks, but I don't think it's as good as Wishes. What do you think? You're the one who cries during these things.
Oh man, I think each show has its own personality and it stands, on its own feet. I don't really know if I could say I like this one better than the other one. I think they all have a unique place in my heart, and they all stand on their own. I do like Wishes because kind of gets me to the end, which the other two don't get me at the end. So
Yeah.
for
Well,
what that's worth.
let's move. Yeah, you just mentioned Wishes, and he just goes right to tears.
What's the next one? Come on, get to the next one.
Our next email is from John, who writes, I was thinking of buying Disney passes now, but only start using them next year. Is this possible? We're trying to save money to go to Disney. This is one way of doing it. Tickets would be bought, then I would just have to worry about the hotel and food.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Hey,
you
you
just
go to the Disney store and get those
Vouchers?
the voucher. They're like a plastic card.
Yeah, and as long as the key is, you don't have to get a ticket that doesn't expire, because it only if you get a regular ticket, it only has you have to use it within 14 days, but that's only when you first start using it. So, if you buy it now and then if you use the first day, a year from now, that's fine. That's a great way of saving money, because ticket prices typically go up. Well, they used to go up once a year, although with Disney recently they seem to be going up about every 4 months. All right, well that's a little extreme, but you know what I mean. But yeah, did you guys want to hear some more old emails?
Sure.
Yeah, Matt.
This email comes from Chris of the Big D Podcast, who writes, "Hi guys, long-time listener, first-time questionnaire. I'm currently planning my possible trip to Mousefest, and I'm trying to determine the best value resort. This will be my first trip that I'm going there for 6 days by myself, and have plans to go commando and see as much as possible. My big concern is the transportation between the resort and the parks. Is there a better value resort in this regard? And are there any little tips, tricks, or shortcuts? I was planning on using Magical Express, so I'll not have a car. Do you know if there are mopeds, Vespas, rental places that might rent one for the week in the area? I have no preference with the theming of the resorts, so that's not an issue. My natural instinct is to go with Scopa Towers. I'm not sure why. Did I mention this Kool-Aid tastes great, Mike? Anyway, love the show, and the suggestions would be great." I think the All-Star Resorts are closer. They're closest to the studios, and no, not Epcot, just the studios, and then
no.
Animal Kingdom.
You'd think that the All-Stars are closer to the studios? I can get from the studios to Scopa Towers in 7 minutes.
But the Scopa Towers is also very close. Well, there you go. Who am I to argue with Scopa Towers, right?
Right.
Right. I think that's your best bet. Both value resorts are farthest away from the Magic Kingdom, followed by Epcot.
Bus-wise, I don't know.
Bus-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because otherwise, if you had your own car to get to Epcot, the fastest way would be to go to Boardwalk and then go through the International Gateway. But
Right.
I don't know how conducive that might be for you. Noel, why did you write without underpants?
Because he said he was going commando.
That's what I
get it.
thought.
Oh, I get it.
Been years.
Well, I got my first clip for episode 200.
Next email. It's coming from David Lenton. David from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. All right, so Mike, Len, and Mighty Scopa. Mighty Scopa, I like that.
Ooh, that may stick.
Yeah, that might stick. That and Crazy Ivan. Fantastic podcast. Keep it up. My wife, 2 daughters, ages 7 and 5, and myself are visiting Walt Disney World for the first time during the first week of November. We'll be staying at Scopa Towers 80s section for the duration of the trip. November. Obviously, he means 2007 because we would never be reading old emails on this show. We need information about bringing backpacks on the rides. Can we bring them, or are there cubicles to store them at each ride, or should we rent out a locker each day at each park? Knowing if we can have all our personal stuff with us at all times will help us decide on what to pack each day. Thanks for your insight. You can, I mean, it depends on what you're planning. I don't know, maybe David is planning on bringing, like, you know, one of those backpacks that has everything in the world in them. Some rides have very small little pouches for, like, they're mostly for, like, purses and, like, hats, things of that nature. Not really going to fit any normal-sized backpack in there. However, I can tell you that I always bring my backpacks on the ride. The fail-safe method is just put one of those straps through your leg and just put it on the floor, and the thing is not going to go anywhere. You can also... Go ahead.
I was going to say, Len brings a backpack. You know, he's got a huge backpack.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a problem from a ride. It's not going to say, no, you can't bring them in. It depends on how much stuff you would bring. I would say just bring enough stuff, you know, like for the day. You don't need to bring enough stuff in case you get stuck in it for a hurricane while riding Splash Mountain. But if you bring one bag, I think you'll be fine. I really don't imagine there will be any problem with that. Let's move on to our last email of the day from Tony C. of Bloomingdale, New Jersey, who writes, "Hello, fantastic Walt Disney World info gurus, otherwise known as Bow." Oh, he bows. I get it. Never mind. In this episode, you spoke about the fireworks from California Grill and Narcoossee's. I have eaten at both and enjoyed the fireworks from both. Both restaurants do dim the lights and pipe in the music. The Grill is a better spot. You are higher and closer, and you can hear the crowd even. Narcoossee's is good, but not great. You can go outside on the porch with your drink and hear the music and see the fireworks, but you are farther away at the ground and at ground level. Also, I too would love to see the Main Street Electrical Parade come back. I've seen so many times at the music and show that it's burned in my memory. I try to collect all the pins from this parade and soundtracks. If you know of any good place to obtain, that would be great to know. Great job, and keep up the great work.
Okay.
Yep.
That was a great parade.
Yeah. No, definitely a great parade. And I think I agree with him with the other restaurant being better than Narcoossee's. Although Narcoossee's does have that other element to it.
The other feature.
Other feature. Yeah. Well, that's it for us today. If you want to find older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, you can visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.today.com. You can also email us at questions at www.today.com. For Len Testa, Mike Silva, and Michael, I'm Matt Hodgman. We'll see you on the next show.